of Uncensored. I am your host, Keith Andrew. Along here is the talented and beautiful Jamie Fahn. Uh,
Jenny,
Jennie Fahn. And I just want to say thank you for being a guest on my talk show.
thank you for having me.
And for our audience, I may use it, but I may not. But for people who want to know, there's this app called Soundbar, or Soundbox, or whatever. And it's kind of like, I was on a talk show and they were using that. It's like, I can try, but if it gets obnoxious, like, yeah, it kind of misses the point. But for people who want to know what Uncensored is, the half hour, 45 minutes every time, you say anything, curse if you want to. But Uncensored is freedom of speech, freedom of self-expression. Say anything you want. You can get up, walk around, show us your place, whatever you want to do. And the whole point of the talk show is for me to show people that even with a learning disability, I can still overcome controversy and reach my goals in life. At the same time, I'm able to turn myself into a perfect example for people out there dealing with any types of learning disabilities and disabilities, that you should never give up and you should prove to people you can still mount to something. So with that being said, a half hour, 45 minutes.
This is real clapping.
Right. You have as much time as you like, half hour, 45 minutes, give or take. But starting off, we're going to hint towards our first interview that we did a year and a half ago. And people can see how bad the video quality was. Because
I was going to say, that interview, if I remember correctly, was technically challenged. This one, hopefully, less so.
Well, it's a good thing you bring it up. It's because when I first did the interview, and I did this called Inside the KeithAndrewNetWork, I don't have my camera on me, but I recorded everything from the phone. So whatever the phone saw, the camera picked up. So that was season 1. Season 2 was basically the same thing, but instead of the phone, it would be the camera picking up whatever the computer screen saw.
Yes.
And now with season 3, I'm doing Skype recorder, so if people seeing Fox News, CNN, it's got to be cut in half. I'm got to be on the right, you're got to be on the left. And it's in HD. A lot of people said to me, and I was thinking about this recently when I was doing my show over again. Well, I'm sorry about that. But I was thinking about doing it over, but then I was like, well, yes, I do have a learning disability. Yes, I'm retarded and whatever. But I want to, if I do what high quality right from the start, you're going to miss the point. And there's not going to be any growth. There's not going to be any, I'm not changed over the years. But there's not going to be any, I hit the wrong, but actually that's more obnoxious than
Was
anything.
that a tractor starting? That was the,
Well,
all of a sudden we were down on the farm.
Well, you can think that's my brain starting up.
Very good. Actually, my brain sounds much the same in the morning, so that's why I have my coffee.
No, absolutely. What's always going on a rant. It's basically, I didn't want to do HD quality. I'm on the left, you're on the right, or whatever. If we did any, you won't see any growth. There won't be any change. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to use the old episodes, but going forward, I'm going to do this. So going on a big rant. But a year and a half, it's great to see you again. You look great.
Thank you.
So we left off. What can you tell us about yourself?
Well, yes, because obviously my computer's not interested, but hopefully, anyway, I'm an actor, a writer, and soon to be director because I am about to direct my first film. I wrote a short, and it's called Break, and it's been getting very good reception around town, and is a quarterfinalist in a screenplay competition that's still going on, and was a semifinalist in another screenplay competition. And so we are about to make it. In fact, this coming Tuesday, we're launching our crowdfunding campaign, which will be on Seed and Spark. So if you search Seed and Spark and look up the film Break, you will see it there. we'd appreciate if anyone watching could become at least a follower. You don't have to donate if you don't want to, but if you become merely a follower, which involves simply clicking, it helps us to become eligible for some movie necessity packages that Seed and Spark will then donate to our project. So that would be awesome. Equipment that we need to make the film. And one of the things that is very important to me, being a woman in Hollywood, is the issue of female equality, both behind and in front of the camera. Because, as has been in the news lately, there's a lot of inequity in terms of representation of women and also minorities, people of color, both in front of and behind the camera. So in this film, we're covering both of those. We have a majority of women in the cast. We have a majority of women behind the camera. And we also have a very diverse cast and crew. So hopefully, I belong to a film collective that says, make the movie you want to see. So I want to see movies that feature more women. I want to see movies that have that represent more of the many colors that make up our beautiful country, and our beautiful world. So that's the movie that I'm making. So it's called Break. It's about a woman in a dead-end job who, I'm not letting you ask any questions. I'm just talking.
No, it's fine. You have as much time as you like.
Do you want to know what it's about? It's about a woman who is in this dead-end job, and she seeks asylum in the bathroom. She seeks to get a little time away from this horrible boss she has. So she goes into the ladies' room seeking a moment to herself, and she begins to receive cryptic notes from the universe. So there's a little bit of magic in this movie, and that's something that I love to see in the movies too, because we don't always get to see magic in our real lives. But when we go to the movies, we get to see magical things, and I love that. I love that about the movies. So I hopefully will bring a little of that to people's lives when they go to see this short. It's just a short. It'll be less than 10 minutes long, probably about 8 minutes. And hopefully you'll just get swept away.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, first off, I was scratching my nose. I wasn't doing anything else. But, don't mind me. I'm just trying to get comfortable with shirts just so I kind of poofy.
It's a poofy shirt from the famous Seinfeld episode.
I really don't usually wear poofy shirts, but it's kind of like,
it's okay.
I had to do an interview, but it's kind of okay.
You're making a fashion statement.
Now, I haven't done the interviews as of late, so if I hesitate, I apologize.
No problem.
But first question I was going to ask you is, how did you come up with the idea? What can you tell us about the company you work with? Do you think they would be interested in working with me? And hey, you follow me on Twitter, I follow you. So whatever you need, I can more than happy help you out.
Thank you. How did I come up with the idea? Well, as many people have likewise experienced, I think we've all had a job that sucked. So I had a job that sucked. I had a boss who was just detestable. And I think as I sat there at my horrible job for just a little longer than I ever should have stayed, I thought to myself, I'm here for a reason. I will use this someday. So that's kind of where the idea came from. A lot of it was from my own experience. But I figured I'm probably not the only person who's had this kind of experience, and sometimes we all can relate to an experience like that, even if it wasn't in a job, but maybe you were in a situation that was horrible. Maybe it was a class that you were in, or you had a teacher that you sat there day after day going, why am I here? I just don't want to be here. Or maybe it was some situation where you were sitting waiting for something, or a test you had to take, or some process you had to go through, or maybe it was a relationship, or God forbid it's your home life and you need to get out of it. So I think we've all been in a situation that we needed to get out of. In my case, it was a job. So I wrote a film about a woman in a job. So that was the idea. The company I work for is my own, because I created a little production company called Studio Pod. And I'm also co-producing this with one of the women who's also in the movie. She's the star of the movie. And her company is called Elegant Grotesque. So we are working together. And we met through a film collective called We Make Movies that's here in Hollywood. And they kind of were the original group that motivated me to suddenly want to make my own movie, which I never thought I'd want to do, actually. So it goes to show you how you can grow and change and become inspired by other people. And can I help you get a job?
No,
Or
I was
can
gonna
I
ask you.
can you work with me?
Well, that too. I would love to
Is that the
work with
question?
you, but I was gonna ask you: do you think the company you work with would be interested in working with me?
Oh, and working with you, like doing interviews on your show and
Well,
things
that
like
too,
that.
but does overall would like different ideas?
Um, well,
You can be honest.
we're a very uh, we're a very, how can I say it? Well, the company I'm with is basically we're just these two women at this point. So possibly doing more out interviews like this is a possibility. Um, and I could possibly connect you through to We Make Movies community, which is who I met Sapna Gandhi. She's the star of my film and co-producer. So there might be a way to integrate what you do um, into an outreach for them to talk to your community, to your viewers.
Yeah, that's me. Like, hey, you help me, I help you. I didn't mean to put you on
Yeah,
the spot.
yeah.
Now, the next question I was gonna ask you is, who influenced you to do what you do? I know I asked you how do you get started, but who actually influenced you and pushed you in this direction?
I would say that I've always been influenced by the creative people who I just admire. I grew up reading stories and going to movies and going to theater. And I started out wanting to be a writer and an actor because I just loved stories and storytelling. So when I was little, I used to write stories. I used to take pieces of um, construction paper. I would take several pieces of paper like this, and I would do this and fold it. And look, it's a book. This is a book. And now I would start, this is the cover, and I would just make the cover of the book, and I would just open it, and however many pages it was, I would write a book. And I'd make these little storybooks. And I guess who influenced me when I was a kid was my parents, who gave me paper and crayons. And sometimes I'd take my mother's really nice stationery, and then I'd get in trouble because that was the wrong paper to use. But I just love. When I was a little kid, my God, Judy Blume, who wrote all those great books for kids, was a huge influence on me because I just would devour all her books. And then as I got older, I really loved in junior high. I loved scary books, and so I fell in love with a writer named Lois Duncan, and I just love to get scared. And then in high school, I moved up to Stephen King, and I was reading all these Stephen King books. And luckily, I grew up in New York, and we lived close enough to the city that my parents would take me into the city, and we'd see Broadway shows. And I I would just weep. I would just sit in the chair watching these talented people on stage, and I would just cry because I would, even if it was a happy story, because seeing people flying across the stage, dancing, Peter Pan, King and I, whatever, I just was in awe, and it just made me weep. And the first show that one of the first shows I ever saw was The Wiz, and Stephanie Mills she was like 16 years old, and she played Dorothy. And when she sang, I wanted to be Stephanie Mills. I wanted to jump on stage and inhabit her body and sing like Stephanie Mills. And you know, she was African American, and my mom happened to be old friends with Tiger Haynes. Tiger Haynes played the Tin Man. So I not only got to see The Wiz, I got to go backstage and meet him. And sitting in his dressing room and watch him take his makeup off, all that silver, he had all this silver makeup on. And I sat there looking at his mirror, and I couldn't believe it. Watching him take that makeup off, I was like, oh my God. It was magic. It was absolute magic. And couldn't have been a nicer person. And then Mabel King, you're too young. You don't know that. Do you know who Mabel King is? No. Mabel King was this very large actress. She played the Wicked Witch in The Wiz on Broadway. And then later she was on a sitcom called What's Happening in the 70s. And oh man, she was just wonderful. And she walked into the dressing room and she saw me staring at Tiger Haynes' face, just like, oh my God. And she just busted out laughing. She just could not believe how I was just, I'd never seen anything like this. And anyway, it was just magical. So those are the little moments that I remember that just made me go, I want to do this, and I want to be with these people, and I want to be on the stage with them, and I want to write stories like this, and I want to sing like that, and I want to work with these people, and this is it. This is the world I want to live in and be with these people.
Right.
So I think that was it.
No, I understand, and I the same thing with the WWE. I watched it.
Right.
I watched it growing up. The beautiful women like Marlena Perez, Trish Stratus, Lita, some of the Hall of Famers, Bret the Hitman Hart, Hulk Hogan, Randy Savage. I like being a part of things. When I was younger, I can sit there in hours and watch. Now my ADD's kicking in.
Right.
So if I can't be active, if I can't be a part of something, I kind of lose interest in it.
Right. Exactly. But when you see your idols, then that's it.
Right. With that being said, I'm going to pass the show over to you. Was there any subjects you want to talk about? This is your time after all. So.
I haven't talked enough. Well, I guess I appreciate what you're doing. I think you do a great job. And like you said, if you find something that you're interested in, I think anybody can be passionate. So I think anybody watching, it's really important to find something that you're passionate about, and try to put your energy there, because then what you do it doesn't feel like work. And so you do your show and you get to talk to people about what their passions are, and then you get to share your passion, and you have this terrific show that you get to share with people. So I think you're doing a great service to the people you talk to, and the people who get to watch your show, and to yourself as well. So I think that you found a wonderful way to use your talents and to share, you know, whatever it is I bring to your show. Obviously, lots of talking. You're the wrong person. I tend to blah, blah, talk a lot, but I could talk for a long time, but I will try to curtail it because the clock is ticking. But yeah, I just would appreciate if people would go to Seed and Spark starting March 1st. Check out the film Break, BREAK, like I need a break, and just follow it. If you do nothing else, just follow us. Check us out, and hopefully we will bring a little magic to your life. So that's about it.
All right, well, wrapping up the interview segment. Yeah, unless you want to talk more, but it's completely
I'm done talking.
All right, well, wrapping up the interview segment. How can people follow you on social media? Are you on Twitter, Facebook, Stage 32?
I am on Twitter at Jennie Fahn, but you can also find at break_the short. That's Twitter. And that's probably, yeah, we're also on Facebook. But I think it's break, same thing, break_the short, or just find me on Facebook and you'll link to that too. Oh, my first name is spelled JENNIE, last name FAHN. I don't know if I can hold it up to the screen, but I'll do that right now so people can see how to spell my name. And I'm also writing break the short. Can you guys see that? I don't know if can you see that?
Could you pull it out a little bit?
How does that work?
Yep, that's perfect.
Okay. Follow us on Twitter and Facebook, Instagram. We're on Instagram too. You can find us, but you'll believe me, I post enough about it. If you just find me at Jennie Fahn on Twitter, I post pretty good. You'll find stuff.
I know. Wrapping up the interview segment. My name is Keith Andrew, and I just want to say thank you for joining us. Actually, let me redo that.
Okay.
Wrapping up. My name is Keith Andrew. This is the talented and beautiful Jennie Fahn. I just want to say thank you for joining us, and I hope our listeners would support your cause and support mine as well.
Thanks for having me, Keith.
Anytime.